We are officially live. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Yo.
Nice little Tuesday night last night. Well, MLB was all right. 5-5 plus 0.26 units. Take it. Green is green. Any day where you place a bunch of bets and there's more money in your accounts after than before, I would say that's a good day. And then NBA. Holy shit.
Woo!
What an explosion. That was awesome. 7-0. That was dope. But let's stop living in the past. Let's talk today. Getaway day, these Wednesday. I hate this shit. I hate Wednesdays and Sundays in the MLB. I hate it. It's nothing makes sense, and like
they are gross.
It's like throw trends out the window because shit's just weird. But let's get started.
I don't think Wednesdays are as bad as Sundays. I think I could give Wednesdays a little bit of a break compared to the Sundays. Sundays are wackadoodle dandy.
I think,
as the kids say.
I think Wednesdays are pretty bullshit. But anyway, first game is Oakland at Yankees. I passed on this one. He's got to play though, so I'm passing. Go ahead. Hit us.
Even on a bit of a getaway day, I really like to back the Yankees offense in this one. They're looking back right now after a long sustained period of 14 games where they scored 5+ runs once. The Yanks have now scored 7+ runs in 3 straight games with 7 homers to top it off. I like that to continue today against Kyle Muller, who has been horrendous to this point and even more horrendous on the road. Through 3 road starts, he's posting a 9.42 ERA, a 4.37 WOBA, a 1.88 home run per 9, and a negative 4.1 K to BB percentage. The guy does not have command. He's not striking people out. And the Yankees are striking out at a pretty low rate right now. So I think that they could get to Kyle Muller early. On top of that, they started off slow against left-handed pitching, these Yankees. We faded them a bit earlier in the year against lefties. But, I mean, over the last 2 weeks, they've skyrocketed to 11th in WRC plus and OPS against lefties. And on top of that, they're also 3rd in ISO against lefties. And the ISO is really scary for Muller because he's 8th percentile in hard hit percentage, 6th in expected slug, and 6th in average exit velo. So I think that they could rock him early, and that would lead to a dreadful Oakland pen entering the game early. The same pen that's been bottom 3 the entire season. I like the over in this game in general, and then when I saw Ramon Laureano was sitting, I decided to just isolate what I really like here. So at plus 100, I do like the Yankees team total over 5.5.
Some dude said in the comments, Chicago scrubs.
They do suck.
They have hit a ceiling. Someone else in the comments was saying you should put on the hat, but that's just according to that's a slump buster hat.
Yeah, I mean, if I have another losing day, I'll wear that shit right again. Don't you worry. I still got it in my back pocket.
Throw that hat in the trash, man. Drunk slut. What the hell? Next game. Rockies at Pirates. Simple question. How do we not take the Rockies here? And I know it's super public. It's great. What do we get this at? Plus 125?
Yeah, it actually moved down to like plus 120 consensus. So at least it looks like the books are adjusting a little bit.
They're definitely reacting to it, but I mean, you can see down here. Look how public this shit is here.
Yeah,
everyone's betting Colorado. But like we just said, the line's been dropping. Last night, I think it was Colorado plus 135 ish, plus 130. So it definitely dropped. This says 11 p.m. I think we were looking earlier than that. Whatever. The reason everyone's betting Colorado is because the Pittsburgh Pirates can't score any runs. As I said in last night's video, as a team, how do you have 12 combined runs in 9 games? That's absolute insanity. 12 runs in 9 games. The Pirates have completely fallen off. There is no offense there. And now with Rich Hill on the mound, what? And you're going to give me plus money? It almost sounds too good to be true. Not that I love the Rockies lineup, but it's been scoring runs lately. So yeah, Colorado money line plus 120. Just continue to fade the Pirates until that lineup finally wakes up again, if it ever does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that far-fetched in terms of the price because, I mean, a lot of the public still thinks the Pirates are good. I mean, our boy Danny Dirt yesterday bet the Pirates team total over thinking they were still rolling. I mean, they're absolute dog shit right now.
He has a narcotics problem.
Well, yeah, he's off the Molly Percocet combo. But I mean, on top of that, it's just like, how the hell are we gonna fade the Rockies, who are actually playing like pretty good baseball right now, with the exception of one shutout against Mitch Culler, just to like back Rich Hill? I mean, I'm not the biggest Antonio Senzatella fan, but I mean, yesterday I was saying Connor Seabolt sucks. He sucks against lefties. I can't back him. What does he do? He literally put forth the best start of his career. There is something up with these Pirates bats. They cannot hit right now. Rich Hill already saw the Rockies, and he pitched extremely well in Coors. I think that he's due for a lot of negative regression there. And if you know Rich Hill is much more fadeable at home. So, I mean, at the plus price, with the Rockies bullpen really coming into fruition and their high leverage guys all rested from yesterday after blowing Pittsburgh out, I mean, how do you fade the Rockies here?
Yeah, you can't. That's how. You can't do it. And yeah, maybe Rich Hill pitched well against the Rockies earlier in the season, but that was the old Pirates. This new Pirates is the worst team baseball's ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, no arguments there.
Tigers at Cleveland. I'm going to let Prop Beaver rock on this one. I agree with this pick, so I'm going to put it up here. It's actually, what was it at? Plus 102 on FanDuel?
It actually got moved to minus 102 on FanDuel.
I knew it. I knew that sounded too, because other books had it at minus 110.
They're sick bastards.
So yeah, I'm on the Tigers too, but he was the one that did the notes for this game, so I'll let him read them to you.
I mean, yeah, pretty much if you watched Kyle's video yesterday, you got the gist of it. Eduardo Rodriguez is on a different planet right now. 34.2 innings of work, allowing just 2 runs. I mean, Jesus, he shut out the Guardians already, and like, normally in a spot where you're facing a team that you just saw, I'm like, I don't know. They're a little more familiar with the pitch mix. I don't really give a shit. The Cleveland Guardians are absolutely terrible. 29th against lefties over the last month. And he had a rematch against the Baltimore Orioles. Through 2 starts against the Baltimore Orioles, the certified lefty crushers, the man allowed 1 run through about, I think it was 4 through 13.2 innings of work. I mean, this guy's really, really good. And then the last time we faded Battenfeld, I just didn't realize that the Twins were going to suddenly become a pile of dog shit. That was on me. But the Tigers bats, I mean, they're hitting the ball right now. Bieber's just on his all-time lucky streak. I mean, we saw yesterday, how many hits did the guy allow? 52? But 0 runs were scored?
I mean, he's super smart. He's crazy smart.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the IQ of Albert Einstein. But I just, personally, I think that this Tigers team is due. They have a bullpen that's performing better than Cleveland's right now. The Gardens are 0-5 in Battenfield's 5 starts. I mean, how do we not take Detroit? Roar, Tiger, roar.
Tigers baseball. Another concern, though. It's a bit public. Everyone's been
hella public.
Everyone's been the Tigers. So yeah, I get what Hairston's saying it's a little bit fishy. Said he's passing. He thinks
for sure.
But yeah, Erod. People have been betting Erod for a couple starts now, and he continues to deliver and defy the. He continues to deliver for the public. So hopefully he gives us another one today. Another guy said Detroit first 5 money line at minus 120. I'm surprised we didn't think to look at that, or maybe you did. Did you look?
Well,
at that?
I mean, I just thought if we could save sense and still have a bullpen.
And I mean, the Tigers bullpen has been legit. Right now. Oh, also, I would imagine Cleveland used Clase yesterday to close out that 2-0 win. We were watching it. What happened?
Go ahead. Yes, they did. They did use Clase. They used Clase. They also used Hentges and Stefan. So they used 3 of their better arms yesterday.
So that works.
But it's not like any of them saw like extensive work.
So they probably still be available.
We'll see.
All right.
If they needed to win the game today, they'd be pitching.
Yeah. Next game. Dodgers at Brewers. I passed. You know what? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me just check my notes to see if I changed it last minute. Oh no, I wrote under down for this one, but it didn't make the ticket. So we ended up going first 5 under. So I'm sorry. So it wasn't a pass. So I like the under. I said this. I was talking about this on YouTube last night. Dodgers against the lefty, Brewers against the lefty. These are 2 lineups that specialize in hitting righties. So right there, that's a nice little lean to the under. Also, a day game, getaway game. This game's at 1:10 p.m. What time is that in Milwaukee? Anyone know what time zone Milwaukee's in? whatever. Early ass.
10 it should be because they're central.
They're central. I feel like Milwaukee's way the fuck west, but I guess everything seems west when you're on the East Coast. Like fucking Pittsburgh is west. So yeah, this is an early ass game for these teams, and like I said, getaway day. So I'm down to play the under. I think we ended up going first 5 under, right?
Yeah, I want to isolate the first 5 because I really don't trust the Brewers bullpen. On top of that, the Dodgers have been really, really electric in the late innings, so I don't want to give them the chance to mess with this in the late innings. So let's just isolate that first 5 because I really like the pitching matchup here. I mean, Wade Miley, if you just look at him, it doesn't look like a guy you want to back. He looks like Jobber Chamberlain's like cracked out cousin. But through 8 home starts, going back to last year, he's posting a 1.98 ERA, a 2.23 WOBA, which is flat out elite, and a 0.85 whip with a 0.4 home runs allowed per 9. I mean, it may not seem it to the naked eye, but Wade Miley's actually like pretty good. And the Dodgers bats have been much worse for his lefties on the year thus far. And I think that Wade Miley should at least limit them to 2 or less runs here. On the other side, we got Kershaw, and I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely a bit scared about backing him on the road. He's seen a whole 3.93 higher ERA and a whole 2.08 increase in WOBA on the road. But I think he can have a good outing here for 2 reasons.
He just fucked us on the road too, didn't he? Didn't he just fuck us on the road, Kershaw?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did against the Padres.
Yep, it was the Padres series.
But Kershaw's been better on the road for 3 consecutive seasons heading into 2023. I think this is a bit of a statistical anomaly here and that he's due for better numbers. And then on top of that, the Brewers just simply can't hit lefties to save their lives. Jose Suarez came into Milwaukee and shut them down for 5 innings. This is Clayton Kershaw, the same Clayton Kershaw that the Brewers bats own an unholy 490 OPS and 47 K percentage against. Yelich is 9-26 against Kershaw. The other 9 batters that have seen him are a combined 1-37. So take out the Brewers bullpen. Get this at the low vig. I like the value on the under through the first 5.
Also, Yelich probably did all that damage back when he was actually good.
Yeah, back when he wasn't mids McDaniels.
All right, next game. Marlins at D-backs. I'm on island here. This is I like Arizona. First 5 minus a half run. What were the odds on that? Minus 105?
Plus 105.
Plus 105.
Plus 105.
Love it. So Arizona, first 5 minus the half run, plus 105. D-backs coming off a loss last night, and we had them. It was a tough L. So I know a lot of you guys might be hesitant to back them here. The bats didn't show up last night, but I'm not willing to completely bail on this lineup. I'm not willing to bail on 5 weeks worth of data telling us that this is one of the best lineups at home in the MLB. I kind of like Edward Cabrera, but all 3 of his road starts were bad this year. So here he is on the road against a good lineup, a lineup that hits very well at home, coming off a bad game. So I really like that spot for the Arizona bats, and I'm a Merrill Kelly guy. He looked great in his last start against Washington. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run at home. I'm always down to back Merrill Kelly at home, pitching against a Marlins lineup that doesn't particularly hit right into pitching well. So I think Merrill Kelly throws a gem here. Now, Cabrera's pretty solid, so maybe he comes out and throws a good game, but I honestly think we're only going to need 2 runs from Arizona to cash this. Truly. I think Merrill Kelly throws another gem just like he did last week. I'm on Arizona. I also like the Arizona double result at plus 130. But I think this is that was my original bet, and then about a half hour before the stream, I switched to the first 5 run line.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I could get with Kyle on is the fact that the D-backs are just absolutely annihilating right-handed pitching. Last 2 weeks, they're first in WRC plus, and it's not even close. I mean, I think they're 22 points in WRC plus higher than the next highest team. I feel that Gray's a very similar pitcher to Edward Cabrera in that they have good stuff, but they can be exploitable at times. And even Josiah Gray just got lit up for 3 runs by this team, despite being on a heater. So as you said, I think they can manage the 2 and 3 through the first 5. And that's really all we should need. Miami lineup 28th in WRC plus against righties. Against the current Marlins lineup, Kelly owns an impressive 216 OBA, 599 OPS, and a 2.7 home run percentage. So he's pitched really well against them. And on top of that, what I like about backing Kelly, at least through the first 5, is that most of his damage comes right afterwards, right in the 6th and the 7th inning, that third time through the orders when he's getting chinged up a bit. But through the first 5, he's been a really, really solid pitcher. And on top of that, D-backs have been one of the best first 5 teams in baseball at home thus far at covering the run line. Marlins averaged the fewest first 5 runs in the league at 1.7 on the road. That falls to 1.4. And on top of that, the Marlins bats, they can light up a guy, but it's very rare that they do that consistently. I was looking at some of their game logs against righties. You'll see like a 7 earned run performance, and then you'll see 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 5. So they just lit up Brandon Pfaadt yesterday. I think the regression's going to hit them like a pile of bricks today, and the Kelly should deal. So I'll ride with you there. And for the person asking, a double result bet is for the team to lead after the first 5. They cannot be tied. They'd have to be leading, and then to win the full game. And the benefit of doing that instead of maybe a record a win prop would be that if the team is to lose the lead in the second half, but ultimately win the game, that bet still cashes. While if you have a record a win prop and the pitcher leaves the game and the game is then tied, then they are not eligible for a win anymore. So yeah, there's something to look into.
It's basically just a same game parlay, first 5 in full game. I saw Jay Briggs in the comments. That last night, the Twitter Spaces got so hilarious after you left, like late. Dude joined the Spaces and tried telling us that Steve Francis is better than Steph because Steph had a better teammates and a better shooting coach.
The shooting coach.
Dude, when he dropped the shooting coach take, like the Spaces exploded. Anyway, moving on. Rangers, this game. Pass.
Yeah, I mean, pass. Castillo hasn't looked nearly as untouchable over his last 3 starts, but the Rangers bats suddenly just croaked these last 2 games. They got 2 runs in the last 2 games. And I mean, Kirby and Gilbert, don't get me wrong, they're very solid pitchers, but like they've been exploited multiple times throughout this year. So for them to just come out so flat in those games is a bit concerning. Not a price I want to lay, so I'll just pass, even though I do respect Dane Dunning and what he's been doing this year.
True. Nick. Washington at Giants. I passed, but Prop Beaver has a bet on this one.
Oh, yeah. Nationals first 5 plus a half run at minus 105. Definitely. Josiah Gray's on the mound. Guy's been amazing to this point. Sure, he just gave up 3 runs on the road to the number 1 lineup against righties over the last 3 weeks. But over his last 6 starts, the guy's posting an excellent 2.14 ERA, allowing just 0.5 home runs per 9. And on top of that, he's significantly better on the road going back to 2022. If you've been betting Josiah Gray, then you know that. At home, he's a mess, but on the road, he's really, really good. And the Giants found that out up close and personal last year when he visited them in May of 2022. He had them to 1 hit and 0 runs. Now, the Giants have definitely been better against righties. I'm going to concede that. But we just saw Jake Irvin hold them scoreless through 6.1 innings. I think Josiah Gray's far better than Jake Irvin. And on top of that, the Giants' bats are slightly starting to fall a bit against right-handed pitching. Over the last week, they're just 20th in WRC+.
I saw that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, on the other side, Sean Manaea, buddy, get it together. He's terrible. 10th percentile or worse in expected batting average, expected slug, barrel percentage. Last 4 starts, he's allowed 16 runs through just 14 innings of work. And he got hit up by the Brewers and the Mets, which is really concerning. If you're getting hit up by the teams that can't hit lefties, then really what good are you? Because now you're going to face a Nationals team that, while sucking, their only strength thus far has been hitting lefties, where they're 14th against them on the season. I just think with a half run in our pocket, getting Josiah Gray at a price to at least tie the game is really solid value.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I love betting Josiah Gray on the road. So when you sent your notes for this one last night, I was completely on board. As far as
that, you see what JM is saying? You took the Red Sox over the Braves. You're right. You should have laid the minus 210 with the Braves straight up.
I mean, people don't know how odds work. Also, we had a winning night. Whatever. I think he copied and pasted. If he does it again, I'll just mute him. I try not to mute people, but if you're just gonna spam the thing. Anyway, let's move on. And this guy was asking about Nat's money line. Do you have any notes on the Nationals bullpen for him?
So the only reason why I'm not going to do the full game there is because of the fact that the Giants bullpen quietly over the last week and a half has actually been pitching extremely well, while the Nationals has consistently been a bottom 10 unit, a bottom 10 bullpen. So I could see the Giants winning this one late, and I think that's why maybe price is such. But I think that through the first 5, I mean, getting that half run is huge.
Yeah, definitely. Love Josiah Gray. All right, let's move on. Stay away from that Nats bullpen. My pick on this one is so square that I almost don't want to type it on the screen. It's like
makes me violently ill.
First 5 under 4. The thing is, I don't know how many, because when I say square, right, you got to think of like what is the casual bettor thinking when they look at this, and I'm not sure if the casual MLB bettor knows how good Gausman was on the road last year. So that it might not be as square as I think it is. But obviously, if you bet baseball every day like we all do, we all know how good Gausman was on the road last year and how he was one of those guys that you could trust on the road. Where the hell are my notes for this game? Oh, here we go. So basically, it's just Gausman on the road. Yeah, his road starts this year haven't really been up to par. I think there's only been 3 of them, though. Last year, he was unbelievable on the road. So you got Gausman on the road, and you got Zach Wheeler at home, where he is a bona fide beast. He's a monster at home. He's one of the best home pitchers in baseball. So that's literally the basis for this bet. Combine that. So you got both these pitchers in a spot where they excel split-wise. Now, combine that with the fact that you have both of these pitchers also coming off of bad starts. The reason that I'm not all over it is I also like both of these lineups. But I also like both of these lineups against righties. So a lot of risk involved here. We didn't end up putting this on the ticket. I don't hate sorry. I don't hate the bet, but it's tough to get behind a first 5 under, even though I love the starting pitching matchup. It's tough behind to get a first 5 under at 4 with 2 lineups like this. So
yeah, I mean, definitely I think this is more of a pass in my eyes. I could see your angle there for sure, but the total in this game moved up a full run overnight. And that's very suspect in my eyes. Wheeler's definitely been good. He's definitely better against righties, and he's going to be against righties at home, which is a pretty nice spot for him. In that spot thus far, he's posting a 256 WOBA, a 0 home run allowed per 9, and a 203 FIP. So he's definitely been performing quite well. And then on top of that, we got Gausman, who, I mean, I like him to bounce back, but who knows? I mean, he has gotten rocked in 2 of his 3 road starts thus far. And it's not like the Phillies are any slumps. They've managed 3+ runs off their opposing starting right-handed pitcher in the last 9 to 10 games they played. So they've been getting runs, and they've been getting it in the first 5 pretty early. So that's why I'm ultimately going to pass right here.
To answer the one guy, he said, do you guys ever go on tilt or do you stay disciplined? Oh, I go on tilt. I just I don't really do it publicly because like a lot of the videos I post and the tickets I post is kind of preaching like responsible betting and betting for income, betting to protect yourself against losses. So that's why like I'll put some crazy parlays down like behind closed doors, but they're terrible and I don't want to endorse that kind of shit. So what I'll do is I'll just put a parlay of the day up on the ticket. Like, hey, if you want to play a parlay, here it is. I'm not going to put it. But you know what sucks is when I win some of the wild shit that I do privately, I can't post it. Because if I post it, people are like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you give me that? You know what I mean? Like, it sucks that that's what people want. Because it's a terrible way to bet mathematically. But I mean, you just scroll through Twitter. That's what's getting likes. That's what's getting retweets. That's what people want. No wonder the sports books are so fucking rich.
Yeah.
It's just like terrible math.
Yeah,
they're fun as hell, though.
I'm personally not on the tilt train. I'm not very disciplined in a lot of aspects of my life, but in terms of betting, I actually am quite disciplined. And I don't really like to go on tilt. I'm just doing this for passive income. So I guess not passive because I'm fucking looking at the shit for hours. But yeah, but I'm doing it for a little side income.
Yeah. All right. Next game is Houston. This is the hardest pass ever. Like,
yeah.
Everything indicates that I should bet the Angels here. I guess I'll write Angels or pass. I also would say over or pass, but it's just pass. Look at the public all over Houston here. Let me make the pie charts big. Everyone's betting Houston. Yeah, Angels or pass, but are like I'm not going to sit here and tell you to bet Griffin Canning against Christian Javier. No way. Pass.
Yeah, I mean the books are flexing their muscles with this one. The price of Christian Javier minus 125 against Griffin Canning. I mean, goddamn, there must be some crazy angle they got here.
Right?
I understand that the Angels are smashing righties, but like Griffin Canning's not that great, and he's gotten pretty much throttled every time he's faced the Astros up to this point in his career. And I mean, although the Astros bats have been a bit more quiet, they hit up Ohtani for 4 runs, and they also hit up Castillo for 4 runs. 2 pitchers that have been dominating up to this point in the season. So I don't know. I'm just gonna pass here.
Sounds good. Next, give me the Tampa Bay Rays. Prop Beaver tried telling me on the phone earlier that this price was sketchy. Bro, yep. The Orioles are what? 23-12? They have like the second best record in the MLB. Let me pull it up. 23-13. That's a third best record in baseball. We got a bullpen. It's not Chirinos. It's Beeks. I guess it was Chirinos last.
Chirinos is the primary pitcher. Beeks is going to start the game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Chirinos is going to pitch the rest.
I get it. So anyway, Prop Beaver saying this price looks sketchy. Look too good to be true. Dude, this is the best team in baseball. I mean, the Orioles are the third best team in baseball at home against a team having a bullpen day and they're minus 120 favorites. This price is not sketchy. Yeah, the public's all over it. I don't love it. And the line's moving the wrong way. I completely get it. But you're getting the best team in baseball coming off a loss to a division rival. I'm not betting them to lose 2 in a row. Not to mention, I don't trust Dean Kramer at all. All 3 of his home starts this year have been bad. He's got a 7.20 ERA at home this year. Dude got shelled by the Oakland Athletics at home a couple weeks back, 3 weeks back. I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. Kramer also got completely rocked the last time he pitched against Tampa. Granted, that was last July. But yeah, I'm rolling with the best team in baseball. Minus 120. Give me it.
Yeah, just to reply to Harrison's comment earlier talking about the line movement in the Angels-Astros game. The Astros are one of the most single public plays on the board in terms of not only the bets on it, but in terms of the money, according to Action Network, and the line's dropping there. So that's why ultimately that's going to be a pass for us. But I mean, in my heart of hearts, I do think the Astros win the game. Yeah, this one's just weird for me. It's just weird for me. Yes, I mean, maybe I am overreacting and saying that this line's a bit sus. I mean, maybe it's because I just think the Orioles are fraudsters up to this point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really in love with this game. I think that Beeks starting off for the Rays could be immediate trouble for them because he's a lefty. And on top of that, guess what? He sucks. So I could see the Orioles scoring a few runs in the first 2 innings of the game. And then when Chirinos comes down, maybe that could slow down. I actually may look into some props for the Orioles to score early, maybe like first inning score, first 2 innings score.
First 3,
like
bro.
That, because
first 3.
I think they could win the first 3. But yeah, ultimately, this is just a pass for me. The Rays bats these past 2 games on the road have been a bit slowed down. And then top of it, even in the series against the White Sox, we saw Clevenger hold them to 2 runs. We saw another pitcher, wasn't Lynn, I believe Gio, in his second time around against them, held them to 2 runs. So they haven't quite been as productive on the road. They've been dominant at home, not so much on the road. This is a pass for me.
Tampa's going to get it done.
I will say Kramer is ass.
He's
And on top of that, he is ass. And the 2 previous times he's pitched like a great start this year, he's gotten rocked the next start after. So I can see it.
Yeah, he's done. It's a bullpen day for Tampa, and I bet you Beeks is in the game longer than Kramer. So Mets at Reds. So after we got off the phone, I actually got myself a pick for this one. I am rolling back to my alma mater, New York Mets, first 5, minus a half run at minus 115. The truth is, obviously, it's New York. Everything gets over-exaggerated. I was listening to a podcast, I don't even remember which one, saying that Verlander got rocked or didn't look good in his first start back. What? He gave up 2 solo home runs in the first inning. After that, he pitched 4 scoreless innings. Went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs and 79 pitches. Could have won a 6th inning if they needed him, but it was first start back. Yeah, the Mets lost 2-0, but Verlander was fine. This is the Cy Young Award winner. This is going to be one of those bets where, like right now, we look at it like, ooh, I don't know what the Mets. But and then after the game, we're gonna look back and be like, "Yo, it was Justin Verlander. We were getting the first 5 run line at -115." It was one of those bets where we look back like, "Wow, that was a layup," but we were like overthinking it. Mets price is finally dropping. They're finally starting to price the Mets for what they are, which is a solid NL team. Certainly not an elite NL team. They're much better than their record indicates over the past 2 weeks. So as insane as it sounds, the Mets have gone from completely overvalued to valued probably properly. So I'm going to lay the half run in the first 5. Yo, and not only did he only give up 2 runs, they were 2 solo home runs in the first inning. Like, it's not like he was getting shelled. He gave up 2 bad pitches. Anyway, go ahead.
I know Verlander's Verlander, but the Reds are crushing righties at home right now. So this is a big pass for me. I can see Hunter Green getting hit up here. I don't like Hunter Green at all. But yeah, another pass for me. Sorry, I'm passing on a lot of these middle games, but I got some other picks. Don't worry.
Ray Santos. I hope you're right, man. Hunter Green's a tough. So I went my bet here. I'm going with the angle. I think it's going to be low scoring, so I would also lean first 5 under. I would love to see the Mets light Hunter Green up. But Hunter Green's one of those guys that'll randomly come out and deal like once a month. He'll do that, and then the other 3 starts will
He's
get
so
run.
inconsistent.
I know he's the streakiest dude on the planet. So I'm hoping this is definitely one of his off nights. But to be honest, I think Verlander's going to deal. So I'm thinking like 3-1 Mets after 5. Next game. Boston at Atlanta.
Not yet.
No, they're. Oh, hold on, it froze. And we're back. Sorry about that. We froze for a second. I'm not gonna. Screw it. I'm giving the Red Sox one last shot.
Dumb.
It didn't make the ticket.
Just dumb, dude.
It didn't make the ticket. It's gonna be a half unit tops. All signs indicate that the Red Sox bats have disappeared, right? I'm not willing to let them die yet. Based on what we saw last week, they were absolutely tattooing the baseball, especially against right-handed pitching. But I guess that's kind of irrelevant because we don't even know who's pitching for the Braves. But that's kind of the point. I doubt it's going to be. Well, we certainly know it's not going to be Max Fried. It's not going to be Strider. It's not going to be Kyle Wright. Plus 145 with a dice roll at pitcher against a lineup that was the hottest lineup in baseball 48 hours ago, 72 hours ago. Everyone's bailing on the Boston train. I'm the last man sitting on the train. I'm unwilling to deboard. I'm taking one last shot with the Red Sox here.
When you can't hit up Charlie Morton with a lefty field lineup, that's about where I draw the line. That was fucking terrible yesterday. Yoshida all of a sudden became a whiff lord. The guy, like, I don't know if he had any swing or misses in the month of like fucking April, and then all of a sudden, in the month of May thus far, and then he faces Charlie Morton, swings on 3 and misses on 3 in a row. It's like I don't know what the hell is going on with this lineup. They couldn't hit Taijuan Walker, who's truly terrible right now. I just think that it's regression.
Yo, did you watch?
And I think
Did you watch some of the highlights from that game though? He was dealing Walker, like some of those pitches. He had his put away pitch work. He was dealing. Basically, I'm saying back off Boston.
Yeah, I am back off Boston. I'm off of them.
All right, next game. But for people listening, this didn't even make our ticket. We have 9 or 10 bets on the ticket. This isn't one of them. So I know I just kind of gave a pitch that makes you feel like, oh, we're hammering Boston. Nah, it ain't like that. Like, not even in a top 10 bets of today.
No.
Next game. I gotta pass. I wanted to bet the White Sox so fucking bad, man. I wanted to bet the White Sox so bad. It's a combination of the price and Lance Lynn. Do you really trust him on the road? I know Prop Beaver, you told me on the phone earlier that he has good starts against the Royals, but I looked at his numbers against the Royals and I wasn't seeing that, so I didn't know exactly what you were talking about there. But regardless, it looks like all the sharp actions on the Royals, and they're making me lay like a minus 145 price with the White Sox. I can't get there.
Yeah, I mean, here's Lance Lynn's recent starts against the Royals. 7 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 4 runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 1 run, 9 innings, no run, 6 innings, 2 runs, 7
Okay.
innings, 1 run. So he's
So he
been
does deal.
absolutely dealing. Yeah, he does deal against the Royals, but this isn't the Lance Lynn of the past, which is my problem. This is the Lance Lynn that just simply cannot stop giving up runs right now. And the other issue is the fact that he can't pitch against lefties. I mean, he's consistently getting cranked by lefties. Royals are a lefty-heavy lineup. And while I was backing the Royals to my dismay for most of the last month, and their bats let me down, the Royals' bats are up right now. They're hitting the ball pretty well, despite getting shut down by Giolito yesterday. But one thing I'll give him is that Giolito's better against lefties, and he's been rolling lately. Lance Lynn's not rolling, and he sucks against lefties. So it's a really hard spot to back him. On the other side, I mean, Brad Keller is so bad. He's so
You hate
bad.
Keller. You always hated Keller.
He's one of the worst pitchers in baseball. He's terrible.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's not one of the worst pitchers in baseball.
Are you kidding?
Shut up.
Yes, he
Shut
is,
up.
bro. Yes, he is. He's terrible. Brad Keller's terrible, naked mole rat looking ass. Fuck him. Pass. I hate that dude.
Jesus Christ. You call him a mole rat?
Naked mole rat. I hate him, bro. Rufus looking ass. Fuck him.
Oh, man. I'm backing Brad Keller in his next start. Just out of spite.
Nah, bro. Terry, I like your comment too. Bello is going to be a great pitcher in time. On top of that, I will look at his K prop today because the Atlanta are whiff lords, and I think that Bello does have some really great stuff. So if we could get that at like 4.5 or maybe 5.5 at like plus 120, I'm definitely gonna be looking into that.
What do you think Brad Keller's strikeout props? You like the over? Or?
If it's 2.5, I take the under. Terrible.
All right. Yo, you know what? I like your pick on this one. Right? I'm tailing. You know what? Instead of pass, I'll write tailing. This is Prop Beaver's pick, and I like it. So take the mic.
Sorry, guys. I let the chopper sing on Brad Keller. It wasn't like me.
Where did that come from?
He's let me down so many times. I just truly have a strong level of hate for him. Yeah, Cardinals Cubs under here. I love it. This total was at 8 last night. Already moved down to 7.5. When I made the ticket, it was at minus 105 for the under. By the time I actually went to go post the ticket, it was at minus 120 on some books. So the books are like, Jesus Christ, we do not want people betting this under. And it makes sense because both teams' low leverage arms in the bullpen went yesterday. Now we got 2 studs on the mound with rested high leverage arms ready to back them up. That's already a great spot. On top of that, we got Wrigley with the worst run factor on the board today with a projected negative 17% decrease with winds blowing in. I mean, the Cubs bats look dead right now. They failed to reach 5 runs in 8 straight games. Monty has excellent numbers against them with a 220 OBA, and he's allowing an RBI every 23 at-bats to the Cubs bats. So that's really good as well. Want to know how Montgomery pitched against the Cubs last year? Well, he was 3-0 with a 0 ERA, a 0.68 whip, and that was through 22 innings of work.
This Cubs lineup's a little different, though, to be fair.
It's definitely a little different, but he still has good numbers against the current Cubs lineup. And on top of that,
the Cubs suck.
The Cubs bats are dead, and they started off the year hot against left-handed pitching, but we've seen Pat Corbin shut them down lately, Luzardo holding less than 2 or less runs, Snell holding 2 or less runs on the road, and Snell stinks on the road. Kershaw allowed 2 or less earned runs. So it just seems like they're not hitting lefties all that well right now. On the other side, you got the Cards, who a lot think are still smashing lefties. And if you look at some of the numbers in terms of WRC plus, that would somewhat indicate that. I believe they're still top 10. But I mean, Matthew Boyd just held them to 3 through 6 innings pitched. And me and Kyle watched that game. If the Tigers just made a very easy defensive play, that would have been 1 earned run.
Oh my
Sandoval
God.
hold them to 1 run through 5. Kershaw held them scoreless. Freeland held them to 2 through 6. This is not the Cardinals lineup of 2022 that was murdering lefties. In fact, I'd argue that they've been more consistent against righties as of late. And Steele, he's been a weapon of mass destruction at home going back 2022. I mean, 7 home starts since last year's All-Star break, 0.88 ERA, 226 WOBA, and a 187 FIP. That is elite. He held the Cardinals to 1 earned run the last time he saw them at home, 7 innings, and the Cardinals lineup against lefties last year was drastically better than it is this year. Way too much value pass up on. Under.
Yeah, I like it. The total's at 7.5 for a reason.
Yeah.
Definitely want everyone on the over here. Last game. You already know what it is.
You know what it is.
Load the Padres money line up in the chamber for me. Is it plus 110?
Plus 150. No, move to plus 110 consensus.
I think this is just a great opportunity right now. I think the Padres are a top 5 team in the MLB right now, and everyone's kind of just figuring it out. They're going to start being priced accordingly, probably within the next week or so. The Padres are 11-4 in their last 15 games against teams not named the Dodgers. Since Fernando Tatis has returned to this lineup, they are a different team. They're playing with a new energy. They're making plays on defense. They're making plays on the base pads. Remember Tatis, the play he made? No,
yeah,
he's like forcing bad throws. Remember the catcher like pegged him on third base? Like, they're just, I don't know how to explain it. Like the intangibles. They're just playing with a whole new, like that team truly thinks they're the best team in baseball, for real. And that's why we made it the bet of the day last night at such a good price. And again, they're giving us a plus. Last night wasn't plus money, but was minus 105. They're giving us plus 110. I don't even think Pablo Lopez has that much of an edge over Seth Lugo. Like, yeah, I'll give the starting pitching edge to Minnesota here, but not by a huge margin. And I think other than the starting pitching, Padres bullpen has been red hot, one of the best in baseball. That lineup is loaded, and they're playing with confidence and energy, like I said. Love the Padres again. I'm going right back to them.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharps are hammering the Twins and good. I mean, what the hell are they looking at? Have you been watching baseball the past week? I mean, what on earth are we watching here? Because, yeah, sure, Pablo Lopez is a better pitcher than Seth Lugo, but, like, I don't trust Pablo Lopez nearly as much as I did through his first 3 starts. Over his last 3 starts, he's had a good one at Chicago, but then look at his 2 home starts against dead KC and Washington lineups. Both were dead at the time. No sign of life from KC. He allowed a combined 11 runs, 16 hits, and 3 walks through 10 innings of work. That's not good at all. And that presents a very similar situation here as the Padres bats haven't exactly been the most lively as of late. But, I mean, he has some really concerning numbers against the lineup. 286 opposing batting average, 947 OPS, and he's allowed an RBI every 5 at-bats to that lineup. On top of that, how does previous home start go against the Padres? Well, he got rocked for 6 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks through 4.2 innings of work. I liked the under here. That's the main angle that I was trying to ride with again from yesterday's game. But I couldn't get there because I'm worried about Lopez getting cranked. So I thought to myself, then why not bet the Padres? And I mean, I don't have that same worry for Lugo because Lugo's been extremely solid. 3.21 ERA, 3.19 FIP. And he hasn't been perfect. I'll definitely go ahead and say that. But it really shouldn't matter against the Twins.
It shouldn't matter. That's what I was just going to say. It shouldn't matter.
I mean, Michael Wacha just held him to 3 hits. In their last 5 or 6 games against a right-handed pitcher, they've been held to 3 hits or less. They just can't make contact right now.
Horrible right now, and it's great. They have talent in the they don't score runs.
Yeah, and then you're gonna add in like the Padres' high leverage arms are still available. That guy Nelson, who looked phenomenal, only pitched for like 6 innings last night.
I thought it was Wilson.
It's Wilson. It's
Wilson.
Yep. They still have Merriweather, who's a lefty, who should definitely give the Twins a bunch of trouble. Hader's a lefty, and
Hader's available. He's available.
Yeah, so he should be able to shut him down. I can't pass up on San Diego. I think this is a team that's very, very undervalued. And the Twins all season, in my mind, have been overvalued just because they got off to a hot start.
Definitely. Someone was asking, Terry Stinnett up here said, how about the Yankees team total over 5.5 at minus 120? Because you were saying you like the Yankees.
Wow, that moved to minus 120 already. Damn.
High, but I mean it's high for a reason.
Wow. Yeah, I got that at like plus 100 at minus 120.
I mean, he might honestly not be line shopping.
Yeah, true. Maybe what I would do there is if you could SGP it. I mean, I think the Yankees should win today. So if you could do like a Yankees money line and over like, I don't know, 4.5 runs, you could probably get that for plus money. And not only are you saving a run, but you're backing a team that's a pretty big favorite today. And while Brito hasn't been the best, he's definitely been better in games against teams that aren't the Twins. So I will definitely see that. The only other start he really got chinged up in was against the Rays at Tampa. And I mean, who isn't getting cranked by the Rays at Tampa? So yeah, Kyle's building it right now.
No, it won't let me on. It won't let me on DraftKings for some reason. Man, let me do it on my phone real quick because DraftKings.
You should do it on Fox Bet. They're a great book.
Oh my God, Fox Bet. I don't know if they just like fired their whole staff. I cannot get a bet down on that fucking app.
I can't even get money into it. Like, what type of book is
Oh,
that?
no, they took my money. I put a $250 deposit in there. They took that. But every time we go to make a bet, it's like, oh, please contact support. And then if we contact
Yeah,
support,
Chiefs,
there is
unless-
no support. Okay,
Don't bet
so
on
Yankees
Fox Bet,
money
Chiefs.
line. The lowest it'll let you go is over 6.5, but we still like that. Minus 120.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not bad. I was talking about their team total over. Like, if you went to the game
Oh.
props, you would have been able to pick their actual team. But we don't need to waste any more
Yeah,
time on
yeah.
that.
Anyway, so let's do a community parlay real quick and let's get out of here. Let's hear some legs.
How'd the community parlays do yesterday? I feel like they were very sharp.
I didn't even look at the huge one, but the other
I
one
know
lost
the
because
Tigers lost. I think we had the Tigers in both.
I
so
think we had
they
the
both
Tigers
lost.
in both, but we lost another leg on they weren't close.
That's where we live, baby. In Parlay Town.
Bet your paycheck on the A's today. Said no one ever. Let's hear some legs to this
Yep.
community parlay. If you're new here, this is where we all throw out a bunch of bullshit into the
Parlay
chat.
that doesn't hit.
This is where we all lose money together. It's a terrible idea. Yanks, Angels. That guy
I like
said,
the Angels just purely from like a book's perspective.
"Nah, I
the
like
books are
I like how
telling
that guy said fuck the community parlay because that means it's gonna hit."
Yeah. We got a Padres in there.
All right, see what that is. Angels, Yankees, Pirates, Padres. Pirates, bro. Oh, it's community parlay.
Hey, it's a community parlay.
It's not us.
Maybe that will provide us good luck for our Rockies bet.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's even a leg of such a prestigious parlay, that might get us over the hump. So I put the Yankees in there. Where's the Pirates? Pirates, and then the Padres are at the bottom. So that's coming out to plus 954.
Let's do it. Plus 954. Community parlay. So there we have it.
You know this is a mega lock. These never lose.
Never once has this lost. Anyway, so thanks everyone for watching. Let's have ourselves a good day. MLB tickets already posted. NBA stuff I'll put up same time as yesterday. I think it was around like 2:30 p.m. Yeah, let's roll. Let's go Knicks. Hopefully the Knicks season isn't over in 12 hours, but we'll see. Let's have ourselves a good one. Remember to bet responsibly and hit us up on Twitter if you need us. Have a good day.
Peace.